Hey guys, happy National Ceiling Fan Day. Crazy that it's already September 18th, I have to be honest. As is tradition, I am going to go through both my house and my garage ceiling fan display. I have neglected to do this in the past, and since I had enough people asking me for it, even if it's kind of the same old, I figured why not? Give you guys an update on how all the fans in my house are doing. So starting out here on my porch, I have the Casablanca Walia. 4-speed, of course. This one's a newer one that was made by Hunter. And this fan's been out here for about 3-4 years now on a 3 seasons porch. Showing pretty much no sign of wear and tear. And to be honest, this fan very rarely runs. I don't even use the light that much. So that's kind of why it's been staying in such good shape. So while I let that spin, I'll go into my dining room and living room. In my dining room, I still have the Adirondack. This is never not going to be here. This fan has pretty much been run 24/7 ever since I installed it. I can't even remember how long now. It's got to be a few years. Capacitor is aging pretty poorly, as is traditional with the Adirondack. And the fan is kind of gross, so I'm not going to show it off too much longer. There we go. Oh, it's getting kind of dark already. You can tell wintertime is on its way. Oh yes, I said the word. There we go. Actually, I think that light works. My challenge is trying to find a lamp that's plugged in. There we go. Oh, that's way better. So anyway, like I said, this fan is run 24/7. Pretty much it's run to keep my dogs cool, since my girl dog tends to get very sweaty at night. Little Missy right here. What's up, baby? Yeah, low speed has gotten pretty low. But not horrible. There will be a capacitor replacement in the near future, but we'll have to see. In my living room, I still have the Acela. This fan has been doing quite well ever since I installed it. No capacitor fade whatsoever. And the battery and the remote's even been pretty healthy. Turn the light in here too. This fan runs pretty often as well. I'd say at least half of the year it spends most of its time on high. But usually because we run the Adirondack so much, we'll have this just turned off and set waiting for its turn, so to speak. You can kind of see low speed on the Acela is definitely faster than the Adirondack now. They were pretty close when the Adirondack was in better health. Oof, good grief. Recently adopted 2 cats, so I have gates over my doors. Okay, I have to remember it's 4. So I'm just going to speed through this one real quick, since it's a little inconvenient walking back and forth. Because I know this video is going to be probably an hour long. There we go. And obviously this has a fantastic breeze. This is probably one of the strongest fans on the first floor anyway. I think this fan may have taken the title of my parents' favorite fan, though. As you can probably hear, I have Roku TV, and for my dogs in the background, I had reruns of the original Price is Right running. I'm gonna mute that. Completely forgot to mute that. I'm hoping I don't get copyright struck. But yeah. Yeah, my dogs are the kind of dogs, they'll get a little lonely when we're gone, but they won't be too bad. That helps soothe them. Good old Bob Barker is good with dogs. Who would have thought? But anyway, let's move this to high. yeah, you can see just how professional and how good I am at filming. I forget to turn things on. I forget to do this and that, etc. My excuse is that it was a long day, so. And with work, I usually don't have much time to do this anymore. But I still want to make sure I have content for you guys, because I know there's a lot of you that enjoy watching me. What's up, buddy? He's been following me. He's kind of confused. All right. Move this up to medium. It does take a couple tries to get the remote to activate the thing on the fan. Good grief, I can't talk. The battery could be going weak on it though, because it has been over 2 years now since this has been up. I will say this, compared to the Adirondack, this one is definitely the stronger of the two now. Oh, it's nice being able to film from my couch. I don't think that took. Going to high speed there, buddy? There we go. It didn't. Oh, this is just perfect for this space. The breeze isn't too overpowering, but it's strong enough where you'll feel a good breeze no matter where you sit in the living room. And summer or winter, it does a fantastic job of circulating the air. All right. We'll do spin down here. It's the Adirondack in that thing, and now the Acela. All right. So, as you can probably guess, the Whalea will be first. So, I'm actually just going to focus on the Whalea. So none of these fans are getting replaced. I'll be flat out honest with you guys. They're not going anywhere. They're just too perfect for this space. This little Whalea is awesome. I almost want to get another one, but I'd like to wait and try to get an older one, just so I can have the old and the new one together. Spin down has gotten pretty good on all these fans too. Both the Adirondack and the Acela are probably pushing 4 minutes each. This little guy's well over a minute and almost 2 minutes. Back up here so you can see progress on the Acela and the Adirondack. All right, Whalea done. Well, hello, kitty. It's one of my new kittens I adopted. Shortly after my grandmother had passed away, I went up to, after the funeral, we adopted 2 kittens. There were 4 of them practically for free, so my sister and I adopted them. She got 2, I got the other 2. So they'll be running around a lot too. You can actually have a good angle from here. I'm actually impressed. I should have done this sooner. That almost looks like a portrait. So I think spin down, it used to be the Adirondack that would win for all the fans in my house, but with how it's been running and the fact that the bearings on this have really loosened up and gotten much better, it looks pretty good for the Acela now, but we'll have to see what happens here. So originally, where the Whalea was, there was a, oh golly, it was a Hampton Bay Littleton when we first moved here. That was an okay fan for out there, but it's a Littleton, so not much going on with that. I had removed that and tucked it away in storage. I've tried a couple other fans in that spot, but nothing that really tickled my fancy. That's until I found that Walia, and I think it's outdoor rated. So that was perfect for that spot. Obviously, the Adirondack, where that was one of the only fans in the house. That was that Firebird lighted housing hugger. Something blew up on that fan, so none of the speeds work. I think the capacitor shot. Yeah, by the looks of it, I was right. The Adirondack is now slower than the Acela. So I wanted to do the Adirondack. I knew it would look good in that space, and I'm so glad it worked out that way. And then in here, there wasn't a light originally, but the previous owner awesomely hung all the back boxes on beams, so I could easily switch them out with fan-rated ones and then hang this. Because I knew I wanted a fan for every room, and so did my dad. So we worked out something with my mom to find some nice modern ones and made it work out. All right. Do 0 to high real quick, and then move on to the upstairs. So I think it's this one, yeah. Yeah, this thing's a little rocket. You can get an idea of just how slow this fan is getting now. I think that's about high. Yeah. And then the Acela. Oh, that's a good breeze. All right. Let's move on to the upstairs, shall we? All right, now on to the upstairs. In my bedroom, I still have the brass Casablanca Lady Delta. Just too good to replace for the summer. My brother's room, I have my former Lady Delta. This is the white one that I originally hung in my room a few years ago. It's been in here for a little bit. And then in my parents' room, I have the Harbor Breeze Quanta. So we'll start with this thing. So I picked, as you can see, it gets used a lot. I picked this up at Lowe's for 20 bucks in clearance. No box. The reverse switch was broken because I guess the last owner, I don't know what they did, but they clearly didn't know what they were doing. The screw was stripped somehow and the reverse switch was pushed into the housing. So I did what I could to repair it, and I got it working like it should be again. As you can see, it's got a pretty fast low speed. And breeze-wise, it's probably the weakest fan in the house. Actually, it is the weakest fan in the house. But it's okay, because they don't want a very strong breeze when they're sleeping, and it runs silently. And honestly, it's kind of cool looking. So it works out well. The light is great at night, too. If you're wondering what that purring is, that's my old cat, Max. Hello, kitty. He is very social. Go to high. I'm just going to do each individual fan since I've already shown all these off, like I said. If you want to have a better video on them, you can go to my channel and go find the videos I put of these. Lady Delta I haven't filmed in quite a while, this one in particular. So this particular one is from 92, and which means it is one of the recalled ones, so that's why it has the recall clip. Lady Delta's probably the Casablanca you have to worry about the least, because it's pretty much one of the smallest ones that's affected by it. But I figured I wouldn't take any chances. Since compared to my other Lady Deltas, this one's probably the nicest. So this one I picked up off Marketplace. Came from an older lady whose mother had recently passed away. And this was in her house in what she referred to as the sunroom. So it sat pretty much unused because when I got this and the wall control, which was just some generic Leviton control, you could see the outline of where the switch had sat in the off position for years. Everything was yellowed around it except where the switch was. It was kind of funny. And this fan was in immaculate shape. Practically brand new. I had used it quite a lot since then, so yeah. But overall, it's holding up extremely well, and a good reminder of why Casablanca really is one of the, if not the best ceiling fan company ever. Fan has developed a pretty noticeable wobble, but I've blamed the recall clip for that. I had plans to originally switch this out with another fan, but I had to wait on that. I just didn't have the energy to switch it out quite yet. As I mentioned before, I hate installing Casablancas. That hang true is such a pain in the butt. It's not even on right. I believe my brother once whacked the blade by accident, so that's why it has more of a wobble to it now. But yeah. And the light kit is aftermarket. I should mention that's a Westinghouse one. I picked it up a few years ago. I don't want to waste my money on a Casablanca light kit. Because, yeah. And then in my room, its sister, the Brass Lady Delta. This one's nearly in the same shape as that one. Little paint on the hang true, though, and the blades have some markings on them. This one came from my restore. This was one of 3 antique Brass Lady Deltas. We found all 3. He picked one up for himself, one for a collector, and then told me about these, so I came and picked this one up. It's getting harder and harder to find a Lady Delta that isn't white. And this fits my room so stinking well with the wood paneling, the darker color. It's just perfect. I am in no rush to replace this fan. But with it being mid-September and in New England, it tends to get pretty cold. So in the next few months, or next month or so, I probably will be replacing this as well. Pretty much just as fast as the other Lady Delta. Can't really get them in shot, but yeah. And this, which is like half the speed. All right, we'll do spin down up here. Have to run through this real quick. Try to get them all together, and here it is. All right. Quanta and Lady Deltas. Yeah, as I mentioned in the past, I try to keep fans in my room under 44 inches in length. Anything 52 inch or bigger can suffer from airlock. One of the only exceptions was the Passport 3 I had in my room. That was a great fan. So, I gotta be honest, I haven't tested spin down with the 2 Lady Deltas against each other and then the Quanta, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Quanta has the longest spin down. And for these, it looks like the white Lady Delta will take down the brass one. Although, it is spinning faster than the Quanta is now. Oh, geez. Yep. All right, there's my Lady Delta that lost. Oh, glad I looked behind me. That just stopped. All right. White Lady Delta for the win. Didn't expect that. This fan is used the least. My brother doesn't live here anymore. He's now living down closer to his fiance. And I've updated you guys before on him, but just in case anyone didn't hear, he is fully recovered from his cancer. He is doing extremely well. So, I really thank you guys for all the support, because this year has been something else. All right. 0 to high. Probably beating a dead horse with this, but these Casablancas are hurricanes. I will say this about the Brass Lady Delta. the bearings have started to develop a slight noise. So it has been used more than the white one, that's for sure. And then not Casa. I have to remind myself, switching between Casablancas, Lascos, and then every other fan. That's high, medium, low versus low, medium, high. Yeah, like I said, it's the slowest fan, but it's still a good fan, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, and now for a part I haven't filmed in quite a while. My workshop. I haven't really done anything with the fans down here other than remove the Georgian. As you can see, there's quite a few cobwebs in here still. I gotta really clean this up. I've been down here pretty much never. I do most of my work in the garage, but I definitely want to start doing more stuff down here again. But for starters, I have this Crusader here, the 3-blade one. This is one of the absolute first fans I've ever gotten. And from the restore, I believe it was my second fan from the restore. First one I got was a little Northman that I stupidly threw out. So I still have this one on a cheap 3-speed control with a dimmer. Move this up to medium. And traditional Encon, it is extremely noisy. That globe is aftermarket. I picked it up at Home Depot a number of years ago. This did not come with a globe when I got it. And I think Encons really pull off the schoolhouse globe. On the control, medium and high are pretty much the same thing. Next up, the Monte Carlo Lunar 2. Another one of my earliest fans. Also known as the Egg. So, I'll do it like this. Start it on low. Recently, I've been reconsidering relocating this fan to a different location. I've actually been thinking of taking the fans down from here entirely, just because there's so many spiders and dust and whatnot getting into them. I decided like I said, I'm not down here very often. And I've kind of decided that I've liked them better in my fan display. So, sometime in the future, you guys can probably expect to see that happen. Medium. So if you don't know the story and why the globe is cracked on this fan, brand new out of the box, 5 minutes of running the halogen bulb this came standard with, I heard a crack. I look over and find the whole globe split in half and barely hanging on. Yeah, brand new. That was aggravating. Monte Carlo, you should be ashamed of yourself. No, just kidding. That was probably just a freak accident. But the halogen bulb must have gotten pretty hot or whatever and cracked the globe. So that's what happened there. So I glued it and put it back up, and well, 4 or 5 years later, it's still holding up quite well. Next up, Harbor Breeze. Oh golly, I just blanked on the name. Harbor Breeze this fan. Oh my gosh. I'm ashamed of myself. This is one of my favorite fans ever. I was actually tempted to hang this in my bedroom for my next fan. Globes have a little bit of a rattle to them though, so I may have to axe that idea. Oh yeah, so I should probably mention, Restore, so I said that already. These were eBay finds. I got lucky and got them for cheap. Both new in box, of course. Put this on medium. Good grief. That was bothering me. I can't remember the name of this Harbor Breeze hugger. This is what happens when you have so many fans. You start, if you're like me, you start forgetting names. then you realize you're an idiot. I'm sure I'll remember once I get to the last part of my video, which of course is the best part, and I think you guys will agree with me. So this is the control I have it on. Just the fan, of course. Really likes this control, so that way I don't have to keep pulling the chains. It's a good breeze too. And last but not least, the Encon Premier Deluxe, or Premier Deluxe, however you pronounce it. Probably Premier. This was also a new in-box eBay find. And honestly, it wins the title for the noisiest fan outside of my Panama Gear fan. Motor hums, the globe buzzes, and it's not even loose, which is the worst part. That globe is on there tight. Any tighter, I'd probably crack it. I bought this mostly out of curiosity, not knowing that it's actually kind of rare, especially the 32-inch size. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been down here very much, only because I can't stand up down here fully. The ceiling's only about 5.5, 6 feet tall at most, and I'm 6'1", so it gets pretty painful just crouching the whole time, and I don't really want to sit down the entire time either. I like to get up and move, so that's kind of why I've neglected this. Okay, see what I mean? All right, sorry about that cut there, guys. I accidentally swiped the bottom of my phone, closed out my camera, and stopped the video. But anyway, let's do spin down. Yeah, set that off. You. And Con gets kind of a break here. So yeah, like I said, eventually I'll probably relocate all these to my garage display. This has probably been hanging the longest of all the fans. The Monte Carlo already stopped. Next up will definitely be the Crusader. Now the Harbor Breeze and the Encon. The big Encon. These two have always been pretty close. Breezeway! Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. Like I said, my brain is fried. Ooh, that was close, actually. That was really close. Ooh, that stopped in the perfect position. Look at that. All right. So you're at high. I'll be honest, I have it on the 3-speed thing because I thought it'd be a better speed selection than the pull chain. Pull chain's pretty much just as bad. Yeah, like I said, maybe for the winter, I don't know. If I can get it to stay quiet, I'm going to relocate the breezeway to my bedroom. I think that'll be a great fan. All right. And that concludes my workshop in my house. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, and by far, the best part of this video. The garage. By far, the best part of the house. With the best variety of fans. So, as you can see, I haven't changed too much on the display since my last video. It has only been about 4 months, and I try to space this out at least every 6 months. Gives you enough time to relax, switch out fans at my leisure, try out some ideas, and who knows, rearrange and try to squeeze more on the display. So as you can see, I have a few fans I haven't shown off yet, and I wanted to wait specifically for this video to do that. As you can see, I've had to remove the Fanimation Tordo, because as I mentioned in the video I just filmed, it collides with other fans, so we'll get to that in a second. So, starting over here with the mini fans, I still have the Minka Air Space Saver on the same bad wall control. I still haven't had time to buy a new one and switch it out yet. I have one ordered and on the way though, so we'll see, but we'll see if that fixes the issue, but unfortunately for now, this is how it's going to have to be. That's almost one speed pretty much. That's kind of a medium-high speed right now on low. I have the two twin Matari ones. So see if I remember where I got these fans. So these two I got off Marketplace. They came from a lady's salon. She was renovating and wanted to get rid of them. One runs a lot faster than the other. One's due for a capacitor replacement. And the bearings on this one are a lot worse than that fan, so that doesn't help its case. They're not scratchy or anything, they're just stiff. Next up, the Hunter Omnia. One of the newest fans I own. The 3-speed control it comes with. I bought this fan refurbished. I think it was a customer return and Hunter repaired it and sold it at way cheaper than the normal price. I really wanted to try this fan out because I thought it looked really cool. And honestly, I have to say, if you can get it for cheap, I would definitely jump on it, but I wouldn't waste the money on buying it brand new. It's definitely not worth that price. I don't know if they still make this fan. Hunter changes their fans every few years, it seems like. I want to say they still do, though. Next up is the Royal Knight by RP Lighting. This you can buy on Lowe's for like 50 bucks. Once again, this was a curiosity buy. It kind of reminded me of the classic huggers of the past, like the Encon Petite, the Heritage Alliance, etc. Because it's pretty much what those fans were, except it's just a little bigger and it's only 5 blades. And the other way it's different. It's actually made well, moves a good amount of air, and runs silently. I had this in my bedroom at one point. I made a video of it, and I don't think I ever posted it. So shame on me. Next up, the Harbor Breeze Gaskin. Nice modern Harbor Breeze. Now, this particular fan, I'm not sure if you can buy anymore. They've kind of changed the fan to be some clip, like gazebo clip-on fan, where they replaced the mounting hardware with some crappy-looking clip, tripled the price, and made it outdoor rated. I got this one on clearance at Lowe's. I think it was a customer return. Other than no canopy screws, I got the fan 100% complete. And it runs really well. It's a very impressive little fan and very cool little fan too. So next up, the two biggest fans. The Union for ESP Industrial and the 56-inch Silverline from '92. Silverline, I bought that and its twin from a seller who had a bunch of these for sale on Marketplace. That's all I really remember about it. And this I rescued from a mechanic's garage that I was upgrading and wiring a new fire alarm system in. This fan sat abandoned for goodness knows how long. So my coworker and I, excuse me, my coworker and I removed it, and surprisingly still works well. I had put some oil in it because the bearings are absolutely shot. But I'm amazed at how well it runs, and I'll probably boast about the quality and performance till I die. This is one of my absolute favorite industrials. And the fan is disgusting looking, I know, but believe it or not, that's actually as clean as I could get it without using some more potent cleaners or chemicals. And talking with a man fan about it when he visited me recently, he and I both agreed it'd be better if I just repainted it. But I gotta be honest, part of me really likes that dirty look it has. Kind of gives it more character, you know? Alright, so let's move back here. So I have the Four Seasons, the Chippendale, Delta, and then my fully complete 1930s Hunter original, or 1940s, I can't quite remember. Unplug the light here real quick. Have it in a surge protector. That way I can kind of mimic a light switch. This doesn't have one. So I have this on a Westinghouse 5-speed control. Speeds 1 and 2, the fan doesn't work at all on it. 3, 4, and 5 give it a perfect speed. So like I said, I rewired and got the light kit working again. I really wanted to put an incandescent bulb in it to make it really look vintage. But all I had on hand were LEDs. So, sorry about that. And the globe it has is this absolutely enormous, almost pendant light looking globe. Kind of ridiculous looking in my opinion, but it's what makes this fan so cool and unique. Especially considering the fact in only about 5-10 years, this fan could be 100 years old. This fan I picked up from a seller on Marketplace. He got it from his grandfather, who rescued it from a hotel in North Carolina that was shut down. He really wanted to keep a fan, so the hotel gave it to him for nothing. He had it in his house for several years, passed away. His father took the fan because he knew it was special, and tucked it in storage because he didn't have a use for it. And then that ended up in his son's hands, and once again, he didn't really have a use for it and decided to sell it. It's one of the only times I told the seller I was a collector, because I gotta be honest, I felt guilty buying this because this felt like an heirloom passed down from grandfather to his kid to the father's kid. Oh golly. But yeah, I apologize for the messy alarms in the background. I've been rewiring my systems. I will have some system test videos coming out soon, so you can already kind of see what I got going on with the systems. I don't want this on medium just yet. Golly, I'm sorry guys, I'm a mess today. Next up, the Casablanca Delta, or Delta 2, I can't remember. That is a Delta. That's right. It's kind of weird. I have a Delta and a Delta 2, and they're kind of the opposite of what you'd expect. The Delta 2 is a 4-blade one, and this Delta 1 is 5-blade. I'm not sure how that ended up happening, because I think the Deltas were typically 4-blade fans, and the Delta 2s were 5-blade, but yeah, whatever. I picked this up off Marketplace almost 2 years ago now. It's been on my Marketplace forever, and I finally decided, you know what, let's get it. It's in immaculate shape, and he only had it for 20 bucks. I'm really glad I did, because this fan hasn't come down yet, because I love this too much. White and brass is one of my favorite color finishes for these Casas. I'll try to speed this up a little more. Next up is my Four Seasons. I bought this way long ago on Marketplace. I don't remember what globes it had when I bought it, I have to be honest. It sat in storage for a few years because the wiring was bad. So I had to crib some new wires onto it so I could get it working again. And I stole the mounting hardware from another Casa. I can't remember which one, to be honest, because when I got it, it didn't have any. And the guy replaced this with some cheap, oh golly, Better Homes and Garden thing. I don't know. It didn't look bad. It was some 8-blade looking fan, but he said, I've noticed that it doesn't move as much air as the old fan does. He goes, it just looks a lot better. He goes, in my wife's opinion. So, you know the old saying, happy wife, happy life. So that's how it ended up in my hands. And I'm very impressed that it still works, because it was in pretty rough shape when I got it. I love how the beveled glass looks on these fans too. So, and I have not put real bulbs in it. I still have those goofy little 15-watt bulbs. I didn't have enough incandescents to put in here, and I don't want to risk putting fluorescent or LED in these. I hear that the what's it call it, IntelliTouch board inside the fan doesn't like those. So I'll step back a little bit and go to the Chippendale here. I think that's low. I have to oh, that's off. Oh yeah, that's low. It's a little weird how the home star system works. It's kind of like Casablanca, but not really, if that made any sense. I got this fan new in box, and I originally planned to buy this from a seller 8 months ago. Almost a year ago, actually, now that I think about it. Long story short, we were all set up to meet him. A couple days beforehand, he said he had lost the fan and didn't know where he put it. So I thought that was the end of that. 6 months later, he reaches out to me. Hey, I found the fan. Are you still interested? And I'm like, yeah. So I really lucked out on that. He even gave me a discount for my troubles. And that was awesome because you don't see these homesteads. These are pretty rare. Next up is the Hunter Faltzgraph. To be honest, I forgot I had this fan out here. I haven't replaced this at all. This one I got from WeFire. Oh golly, hard to reach this one. I guess I'm in no rush to replace it though. I do like this fan. It is a very pretty fan. If I could, I'd want to put this in my dining room or somewhere where I could really show it off. Part of me would want to put it in my kitchen, but the ceiling's too low even for a hugger. I'm not sure where WeFire got this fan from, though. Next up, the fan that's been hanging the longest, the Caribbean Breeze. You love it, you know it. This one I picked up from Skylar Strickland when he had like 100 plus of these for sale. I jumped on the opportunity to grab it because these are getting really hard to find. And in my area, I've only ever seen one once. And a church nearby me, there's a 48-inch one by the looks of it. In brown, no less. So I'm gonna keep my eye out for that place in case they ever get rid of it. I just don't have the heart to replace this fan at this point. It's been on the display ever since I first started filming these. I know I've moved it at least once, but it still has been on the display ever since. And it is still one of my favorite fans of all time. I just love how it looks. All right, I think that's everything over here. So moving on out here, we have this disaster. This was the last second edition. So on the top, I have a Northman spinner from November of '95. And on the bottom, a Bell & Howell socket fan. I brought that back for this display video. And start with that. Here's low speed. This came with a twin fan, and they're both pretty much identical. No globes. However, this one's in a lot better shape because that one had a cracked blade and some scratchy bearings. This one is surprisingly silent. This one's I think it's a little different from the one I got from WeFire. And honestly, this one is a little beast. This performs really well. I assume it's a Northman. I'm not 100% sure, to be perfectly honest, but that's where my mind is leading. This is one of the fans I haven't shown off yet, but hopefully I'll get that and it's twin hung so I can demonstrate them together. And then hopefully I can find a good globe for it, because the ones I had on hand didn't fit in the fitter for some reason. The lip on the globe wasn't deep enough to go into the, fitter. Good grief. Can't talk or think or nothing. Next up, the baby gold line. I've replaced the bronze line because that hung too low, and that was a real inconvenience when I had to move my motorcycle in and out. So, one thing about this fan is the bearings are already going bad on them. And I thought it was something I did to it, like leaving it in storage for too long or in a certain spot. I'm not quite sure. But a man fan, excuse me, wherever he goes by, he has told me that these apparently had some issue with the bearings, these particular gold lines. So luckily it's nothing I did. This one is from 2019. I think he said gold lines from that era tended to have bad motor or bad bearings or something like that. Outside of that, the fan is aging very well and performs extremely well. And I'm kind of reminding myself, why did I take this down in the first place? I love how it looks, and one of my absolute favorite style of fans are 36-inch industrials. They just look so cool. Next up is my other Encon Crusader. This one's a newer version. Looks more like a knockoff Minuet. I got this fan new in box off eBay. I bought it at first thinking it was a Minuet 1, the weird one with the C brackets. But having actually owned one, and still own one now, I realized it wasn't. And I saw it was an Encon Crusader, and I'm thinking, I've never seen that one before. So I let curiosity get the best of me, and now here it is. And honestly, it's a great little fan. Bearings aren't doing very well on the fan, typical Encon. But outside of that, it's a great little fan. Next to it is one of my more rare Encons, the 30-inch Princess. I've had this on the display for quite a while now. This fan looks awesome. It's one of my favorite looking fans. I put this in my house if I could, but it's just too noisy for a bedroom and too small for any of the other rooms. I've only ever seen these once, and that was at Weave Fire's fan shed. In his shed, he still has one of these hanging up. One of my favorite fans he owns. Next up is the bath and dressing room. This is another fan I have trouble keeping in storage. I love how it looks. Most of Hunter's fans in the 90s kind of had the same design. The Coastal Breeze, the Silent Breeze, one of the other breezes. But it looks really good in miniature. Can't remember where I bought this one though. It was new in box, that's what I remember. And I want to say I got it off eBay. However, it could have been Marketplace, I'm not sure, but I'm leaning towards eBay on this one. Yeah, this one keeps reappearing in my display videos, I realize. Like I said, I have trouble putting this one away. I just love this fan too much. I've used it in my bedroom for a short time. It didn't really move any air in there, unfortunately, so that's why I've kind of relegated it to a display piece. Air movement really isn't that good on it for such a fast little fan. Next up is another one of my personal favorites, my Homestead Whisper fan. I'll be honest, I only hung this here because it was one of the only fans that fit here. This one hangs a little low thanks to the extra long down rod. And I originally wanted to put this in my room, but that didn't work out the way I hoped it would. But yeah, this spot was perfect for it because it gave me an excuse to bring it out again because I love Homesteads, and this one is definitely my favorite. Even over the Chippendale, I'll be honest. Next up was technically my dad's fan, the Madison Avenue Flintstones fan. This one's not going anywhere because this is his fan over his workshop, over his workbench. Bearings on this fan still are pretty crappy, I'll have to be honest. He uses it a fair amount, but he's not out here too often. I usually run it whenever I can just to let it get some use. He wants it in the bedroom, but my mom does not like this fan. And like I've said many times, when it comes to the decor of the interior of the house, she has the final say. Next up, one of my personal favorite fans, the Hunter Discovery. One of my dream fans as a kid. Begged my parents for years when this thing first came out. But what turned them down was the fact that it was a nearly $200 fan back in 2007. Or 2008, whenever they released this. I want to say 2007. And that's understandable. This was way overpriced for what you got. Although, I don't want to talk the fan down at all. This is a beautiful fan. I love the globe, the cool blade design. By far one of the coolest kids fans in my collection. Yeah, it's a shame companies don't make fans like this anymore. Next up is my little Quorum here. My Quorum 30-inch estate. This was another curiosity buy. Was that low? Okay, it was. Whoops. I'm losing it, guys. This was another curiosity buy. Found it on eBay and found out Quorum was still making fans. So I decided, I wonder how good the 30-inch one is. And I've had it in my bedroom. It was that good, to let you know. This is an awesome little fan. Very good air movement and runs silently. And great selection of speeds, honestly. This was another fan I pretty much only hung here because it fit in this spot. All right, next up. Oh yeah, a Hampton Bay Carousel 2. New in box, no less. I finally got my hands on one. And of course I had to hang it next to the Carousel 1. So for those who don't know, this was the second generation of this fan. They introduced this, oh golly, like 98, 99. I'm going to have a separate video on this fan where I'll have all the details for you. But long story short, they sold this fan with 2 sets of blades. The first set, of course, was these rainbow colors, and the top part being like a pastel color. And the second set of blades were plain white, and then that gross wood color that every single white fan had at that point. And the gimmick was, when your kid grew up, you would switch out the blades. But I have to be honest, outside of one person I know, I have not seen a single family do that in my experience. Most people usually throw out the fan when they're done with it. And when I got this fan, new in box, capacitor was pretty much shot. I didn't have low speed, medium was low, and high was a low medium. That was abysmal. But I got lucky and found a capacitor for it. Switched it out, and now it's running like it should be. Hopefully. But yeah, this thing's kind of like a weird mix of the Hampton Bay San Marino and the Hampton Bay Bridgeton. But I love it. And I'm super excited to finally have one because these are getting very hard to find as well. Next up is a fan I'm kind of surprised at myself for not switching out yet. I guess I love it more than I admit. This is a Hunter Preference in very rare terracotta finish. Oh, I should mention, this was eBay, this was Marketplace. eBay and Marketplace. Sorry guys, I'm bad about that. This was also Marketplace. I think I said that already, but like I said, I'm losing it tonight. I really don't care for the design of the Preference. I think it's kind of an ugly infinity. But when I saw the terracotta finish come up on my Marketplace, realizing how hard it is to find it in this finish, and I'm thinking, I'm probably not going to find it again. I had to get it. I think the seller hung it, didn't like it, put it back in the box. Same old story. So, yeah. Next up, the last of the Heritage Huggers I haven't removed yet. Probably because I won't. The Heritage Alliance Rainbow Hugger. This is my favorite of the 3, and honestly, it's the healthiest. I have a white one and a brass one if you haven't seen that, but I have videos of all 3 of them. The brass one has a knocking to the motor when running, I'm not sure why. It's like something like the bearing is loose or something. And the white one's capacitor is pretty bad. It doesn't really have a low speed, and the bearings are pretty rough. This one is surprisingly quiet. The bearings are good, and the capacitor is very healthy. Man, it's going to be crazy with the rainbow fans going over here. I've realized quite by accident I've made this a kids fan corner. So I'm just going to go with it and see if I can add some more fans. Hint, hint. Next up is the Carousel 1 with, of course, the cool 3-way light kit. By what I understand, this is a later model where the upper canopy was painted black. But on the early models, it was... oh, golly, what color was it? It was a color that wasn't black, let's be honest. This one was a marketplace find, and this one's even harder to find than the Carousel 2 now. This one did not come with a down rod, unfortunately, but this was a case where lady's kids were growing up and she wasn't interested and neither were they, so she let it go for cheap. The blades on the fan were pretty bent when I got it, so I did have to bend it back into place. I feel like it came out pretty good, but could have been better. I said this one was like a Bridgeton and a San Marino. By comparison, this one looks more like a Huntington mixed with a Southwind, the old Hampton Bay. Or a Farmington, I guess, but yeah. But like I said, I had to put the carousels together. Next up is one of my other favorite fans, the Hunter 1886. Haven't removed this one yet, and it's been up here for a couple years now. This one is a limited model, so it came in polished brass, and if I got it new, I would have gotten it in a wooden crate. This was built to celebrate the 100th birthday of the Hunter Ceiling Fan Company. 1886 is when they were founded, and I think they brought this out in 1986. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this particular one I think is from the mid-90s, or early to mid-90s. I thought I said it in the video I made of it a couple years ago. But yeah, this is pretty much kind of a homage and somewhat reproduction of the original Hunter ceiling fan known as the Turk. I've never seen one of those in person. I've only ever seen one once at the Fanimation Fan Museum. That was really cool to see. And I just remembered I haven't uploaded those videos yet. They're awful. I'm just not gonna mince words. They're awful, but I'll upload them for you guys to see here soon. Next up, the Evergo Miami Carry, whatever you want to call it, banana fan. Nicknamed because the vents look like bananas to some collectors. This one has the cool variable speed 2 pull chains. And I hung this because I had the Second Century up for a few years, and I decided to finally replace that one. If I replaced the Second Century, I told myself it had to be something that was nearly as rare and special. And I'll be honest, I feel like the Second Century is more rare because I've come across 2 of these and only 1 Second Century so far. This one I bought as a trio of fans off of Marketplace. Still haven't revealed the other 2 fans because I had 2 other collectors trying to buy them out from underneath me. Both of them trying to ship. I'll let you guess who one of them was. And the other guy I've never heard of before. I've never heard of him. But I'll be showing those off soon once I get them cleaned up and running. One of them is going to WeFire. Next up is another Madison Avenue. This one's probably the rarest kids fan they made. The Mickey Mouse fan. With the cool uplight. This is another fan I kind of forgot about. I just left it hanging here, to be honest. I'm kind of reluctant to replace it, though, because this one is so cool. It does make me want to bring back the 101 Dalmatians fan so I can have all 3 Madison Avenues again. But, yeah. I'll probably be hanging something in place of this in the near future, too. If I remember correctly, this one runs better than the Dalmatian one did. Encon Petite. This has been up for a little while. I'll try not to forget about it this time when I'm changing the speeds out. This one is how I got it, the blades being the wood side facing down. I did not talk correctly there. Racking my brain trying to remember where I got this one. The Madison Avenue was an eBay fan. This was also a Marketplace fan. I can't remember where I got the Petite. I want to say Marketplace. Next up is the CEC Georgian. This is the fan that I used to have in my workshop. I moved this one out here so I can enjoy it a little more. Compared to the SMC Laguna, which is a very similar design fan, I like this one a lot more. Next up is a fan that's been on the display pretty much just as long as the Caribbean Breeze now. My 42-inch Fasco Charleston. I haven't had the heart to replace this fan either. This one is one of my absolute favorite fans. My dad surprised me with this one off Marketplace for free. Yeah, unplug that, that's not working. Yeah, he got this for free with my World's Fair right here. As you can see, that's why the World's Fair isn't hanging. I still need a flywheel for this poor fan. And a globe, because the globe was shattered. But this one's doing quite well, because this is a 3rd gen model. I think this one was dated 1992, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like I said, I haven't had the heart to replace this. This is one of my favorites. I'd put it in my bedroom if it didn't hang so low. My problem with low-hanging fans like this on the Homestead is that my door is pretty tall, so the door collides with the blades, and that's one of the last things I want to happen to these. Next up is one of the most well-known fans to collectors, the Emerson Heat fan, nicknamed the Blender fan. This one's a K55 motor, which means it's one of the first ones, or one of the earlier ones. This one's only a 2-speed, for those who don't know. And this one came from WeFire. He picked this up from, I think, a transfer station, because it came out of a barn or something like that, because when he got it, there was hay stuck to the top of it and other bugs and gross things you'd find in a barn. So he cleaned it up and got it running real nice. And since he had 4 Blender fans, and I think he was looking to part ways with one, that's how I got it. This runs way better than my K63s, which are in extremely rough shape. Those are due for a restoral. Those will come back one day. I will not forget about those. And last but certainly not least, the 2 Indian fans. A little sketchy having them together like this, but my 220-volt transformer can handle them. So starting off with this one, this is the Adamberg, the Renessa. So I'm going to Americanize the name. So I've shown this off a number of times, and I have no reason to replace this one yet. Ooh, that's high speed. Okay, as you can see on the bottom, I have the speed indicator with the 6 LEDs. And I love the fact, just for the fun of it, you can turn those on like a light kit. It does absolutely nothing but give it a cool atmospheric look. And then behind it is my Bajaj Maxima. Like I said, I'm very sorry if I'm American. I don't pronounce things correctly. This one I have a 220-volt speed control for. Ordered that off eBay. 3 months later, finally got it. Works extremely well with this fan too. It loves it. I kind of have it jerry-rigged to the wall because there's no American back box that fits it. So that's kind of my issue with that. Buzzes like your typical industrial on the control too. And I believe that is everything, so I'll go back and get a good shot of everything running on low. Unfortunately, it's gotten pretty dark out, so I have to have the lights on now. I'm filming this pretty late. So this time around, low speed probably has to go to the Four Seasons for the slowest. For aesthetics, I have to give it to the Chippendale, but some honorable mentions. I would say, oh boy, I'd have to say the Carousel 1 and the Carousel 2. Those look pretty good on low. For a newer Hampton Bay, that's a surprisingly good low. Bell and Howell probably has the worst low next to the Harbor Breeze Gaskin, but it's only because they're both so small. All right, now let's speed this up and go to medium on everything. Where things start getting crazy. Did that just stop? Okay, yeah, that did. Whoops, that must have been my fault. So, variable speed control. There really isn't a definitive medium, so that's medium-ish. I'm sorry, this video is going to be like an hour long by the time I'm done, but it's National Ceiling Fan Day. I can get away with that. All right, no pull chains over here. Turn up this beauty. This will get another video in the near future here too, with the working light. So this is on a 4-speed Casa control, so I'll put it on medium. Cycle the 4 seasons. Speed 2. Speed 3. Homestead. 2. 3. Yeah, I think that's medium. Alright, 4-speed on this thing as well, so here's speed 3. This one's backwards. Speed 4 is low, speed 1 is high. Speed 2, it's gonna skip through them a little more. Try to get to the quicker speeds here. Medium. To make sure I don't miss anything. I think I completely walked past these fans, didn't I? It's hard to tell with smaller fans what's medium, and what's not. Okay, yeah, that was the Omnia I missed. Northman. A little sketchy reaching past that fan, but it's probably going to be the one that hurts the least. Here's medium. Baby gold. There we go. Where's high on this thing? Okay. That one's a little confusing to remember with I think it's not Comfort Touch, that's Casa. The speed dial that Homestead had. It's always a little confusing where medium is on that. There we go. I think when I film this, I probably won't switch out the blades. But I may one day, who knows. I always hate switching out blades like that. Kind of a pain with all the screws. As usual, any Rainbow fan, the yellow blade really gives you a good idea of how fast it's moving. I'm already getting some weird gusts of wind. This one's probably the hardest to find medium on. It's high, so I guess kind of level them out. It's kind of a medium. All right. Okay. gonna unleash these little beasts here. Alright, golly. That's kind of a medium there, I think. Yeah. And that doesn't have medium. All right. Go back, get you guys a good shot of medium here too. Oh. Surprisingly, most of the little fans are all pretty close in speed. Silverline and the Union, they get along well. I'm getting a very good breeze, but once again, I'm getting random gusts of wind from all the fans that are running. Medium's always a harder speed to film because it differs wildly from fan to fan, especially with fans with 4 or more speeds. Personally, I always like high or low with fans. Banana fan is definitely the slowest on medium. Actually, well, I say that, the AT86 really isn't much faster. But now it's time for the scary speed. As I mentioned before, I never usually run any more than like 3 or 4 fans on high. But I always make sure I can run everything on high if I want to. That didn't change much. Yeah. Like I said, this is definitely the healthier of the two Ataris. I almost wanted to hang the Atari 2, but I like the 1 more than the 2. Oh boy, let's kick these bad boys up. The Union is so much faster than the Silverline. Oh yeah, I forgot to put that on medium high by mistake. Crank that up to high. Turbo mode. Instead. All right. The antique hunter, or the original as I like to call it. Whew. You definitely feel gusts of wind now. Caribbean breeze. Pulse graph. Speaking of hard to find, I didn't realize how hard these are getting to find. Can't really find any of the other finishes almost at all, and people always ask way too much money for these things new in box. Right. High for the socket fan. High for the Northman. This thing hauls on high speed too. It's almost as fast as a view fan. Moves pretty much the same amount of air as my view fan does too. The wood blade view fan. Gold line. The end cons. Glad I was able to do this today. I was worried I wasn't going to, and I'd have to apologize to you guys for making it late, but things worked out better than I thought they would. Pull chain's a little sticky on there every now and then with this attachment you put on the switch cap. This one seems to be a little sluggish. Maybe it's due for a cap replacement as well. thought I remember this being faster. I could be wrong though. I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think. I don't have too much to say with these fans this time around. I've shown off most of these enough already, where I really don't have anything new to say about them. Did I not put this on medium? Oh, good grief. I'm sorry, guys. I know I forgot one. Throw it on medium here real quick. Let that spin up. It's only one of the biggest, most obvious fans. Carousel. A little bit of a jiggle there on high speed. Carousel 2 is definitely faster, but I don't know about air movement. That'll have to come in a separate video. There we go. I love this 1886. I don't want to remove this anytime soon. I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these for years. There's a hunting store about an hour away from me that has 2 or 3 of them installed. In my initial testing, when I had this on low but everything around it on high, this fan was spinning in reverse. It has no power, and everything around it is almost everything around it has so much of a stronger motor that this poor fan could not move it forward. Some of the fans like to make noise on high with everything running. This is one of them. The blades make a noise like the Casablancas do. Any castle with gloss blades always makes noise on me. I don't know why. Blender fan. Now these little monsters. Whoop. Pick that up real quick. To remember which was which. Having the 2 of them together, it's insane just how much air they move. I like the Maxima more than the Adamberg, I'll be honest. But they're both really cool to have. Definitely not fans I can buy in the US, that's for sure. Whoops. Don't you worry about that, that was nothing. All right. Man, I'm getting some gust of wind from these. What doesn't help is the fact that the industrials do such a good job of dispersing the air, especially the Union, which is arguably the most powerful fan out here. It actually kind of keeps the gust of wind down in my section right here, but I move over there, I can definitely feel the fans fighting each other. Like, you can see the tassel on that thing is going insane. Getting all sorts of noises from the fans, the globes. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I feel like that's too slow for this fan. Unless it's just by nature it's slow, but I don't know, I feel like the cap isn't doing too well in it. I think I forgot to mention too, I got those 2 Indian-made fans from an importer on eBay. I had them imported to here and bought a 220 volt transformer. best decision I ever made. Yeah. As it is accidental tradition on my display, I always end up with several hunters. So I have, this time around, it's the Omnia, the original, the bath and dressing room, the Discovery, and the Preference, and the 1886. I don't know why. I just can't help it, I guess. As I always say, I love hunters more than I realize. At this point, I should realize. Okay, now for spin down. This is going to be a really hard one because a lot of these fans are surprisingly close in spin down, and you're not going to get very accurate spin down times for these fans, especially when they're all running together like this, just because they're all fighting each other for air. But regardless, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Wrong one. I'm an idiot. I always mix up the two metal breakers for the fans. Okay, so first stop, Bell & Howell socket fan. Next up is usually the Gaskin. Yeah, that was fast. It's getting dark. My camera's starting to see better than I can, but luckily that's a white fan in the corner. The Adamberg is stopped pretty quickly after that did. So focus more over here. This is where a lot of the slower fans are at. So I say as the Space Saver stopped, Atari stopped, the Princess stopped. Oh, golly. The Royal Knight. I want to say, yeah, Banana Fan. The Petite. Oh, golly. The original. The Rainbow Hugger. Crusader. Flintstone Fan. Bath and Dressing Room with the Whisper Wind and the Quorum somewhere in there. Oh, golly, this is so hard to follow. Oh, Fasco and Maxima stopped. The Omnia stopped, by the way. So, Carousel 1. Good spin down on the Carousel, too, I have to say. That's pretty darn good. Ew. Oh, sorry, the Union stopped. Okay, Carousel 2 stopped. Got the Battle of the Hunters, the Preference versus the Discovery. A little Northman spinning down. Wow, that's impressive. Okay. Oh, Chippendale, Falsgraph, Caribbean Breeze, Northman. Probably not in that order. Mickey Mouse Fan, 1886. Four Seasons? Yeah, Four Seasons just stopped. So, these two hunters. So, Preference. Discovery. Oh, Delta. Close between the Blender Fan and the Gold Line. Battle for third place now. Never mind. Gold Line. Second to last, the Blender Fan of all fans. And that's the one that was found in the trash. That's impressive. And it looks like the Silver Line is the winner. That shouldn't be much of a shock. Silver Lines are known for having long spin downs. And this one has the quicker of the two, if I remember correctly. I've denoted them as Silver Line A and Silver Line B. This one is letter B. The bearings on this one were a little worse, and this one was in rougher shape than the other one. Yeah, it's pretty much going to destroy anything and spin down on the display right now. Yeah, this never gets old. I always love my display. And I'm glad you guys are loving it too. It means a lot to me. Especially considering that today I hit 7,000 subscribers. On this day, no less. National Ceiling Fan Day. As always, I really appreciate the love and support you guys have for me. And getting to meet a lot of you guys at Fanimation, that just made my day. Boy, good thing I'm sitting down. The Silver Line hasn't just beaten everything, it really has destroyed everything in spin down. I think for all of my fans, this one's definitely in the top 10 for the longest spin downs of all my fans. The only thing that beats it are pretty much other Banvilles. My Platinum line, my other silver line, like this. Not the Palco one. And I don't know if my brand new Chrome silver line beats it either. And then my Contact, and then the really old can arm that I thought was an Emerson Tat. My college fan, so to speak. Oh boy, just about stopped. All right. 0 to high, so I will say this. The Four Seasons and the Chippendale won't turn on. Just because that's just how those systems work when you cut power like that. So we'll start with this section. Bath and dressing room is probably the fastest one over here. Now the back section. Oh yeah, the whatchamacallit. There we go. And then this section, the front section. Silverline is definitely the slowest of them. Boy, you can really hear the bearings on that poor Union. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to turn these on. Man, these aren't even at full speed. Look how fast that's spinning already from the breeze. Hey, I can do 0 to high with this. Not with this, though. This thing is sluggish, but it is a 56-inch fan. And that pretty much concludes my National Ceiling Fan Day video. As always, thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've given me over the years. I pray that I can continue to keep doing this for you guys. I have no plans on stopping anytime soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.